Kenya is among countries in Africa that are grappling with the rise in obesity. As at 2015, 38% of women and 17.5% of men were either overweight or obese. While absolute numbers are small compared to more developed economies, this trajectory is alarming.
Tunapenda sana mafuta na hata hatujali kabisa kuhusu madhara yake.
I'm really big, like my weight is a lot. Like right now I'm 145.
Nilikuwa na shida wakati nilikuwa na kilo 106. Kulala, nilikuwa nalala hivi, nikae ndio nigeuka upande huu.
We put a lot of strain on our healthcare because we are likely to be more sick more often. We are likely to be dependent on medication very early and for a longer period of time.
We have no spare parts kwa hizi mili. Wewe huo mwili ambao umepewa ni jukumu lako utunze.
Waking up at 4 a.m. for physical exercise is not easy, especially if you're in your 50s and have to exercise outdoors.
1, 2, 3.
But this group of men and women in Mombasa, in coastal Kenya, has made early morning workouts a daily routine.
We do the Russian twist standing. Legs apart, drop down a bit. Exercise commence. 1.
Their training ground is this unused road near Changamwe police station. With the help of street lights, they work out until dawn. The instructor is Sami Amunga, an experienced fitness trainer.
Tuck in your tummy. Exercise commence. 1.
Once dawn breaks, they head to more spacious grounds. Here, they use natural light and are away from the glare of motorists.
As a coach, I enjoy seeing that a group of people in the community are living health and they are doing well. Those who are obese have cut their weight and they always exercise and they enjoy it. 1, 2, 3.
Mary Mokaya is the inspiration behind this group.
7.
A few years ago, she was on the verge of a serious medical crisis.
Nilikuja nikapatikana na arthritis mwaka wa 2015. Nikajaribu kutembea mahospitali, nikaenda Potrizi, nikachomwa miezi 4, sikupata nafuu.
Mokaya tried many other medications to no avail. She finally found an answer, about 500 kilometers away at the Kijabe Hospital in Kiambu County.
Kijabe ndio nilipata daktari mmoja mzee, akaniambia mami, ile kitu naweza kukuambia ni ufanye mazoezi na zile chakula zenye nitakukataza uachane nazo.
Mokaya weighed 106 kilograms when she was diagnosed with arthritis.
Wakati huo nilikuwa natembea na crutches. Nikatoka Kijabe, nikaja hapa Mombasa, nilikuwa sijui kama kuna gym. Nikajaribu kutafuta.
Her search eventually led her to Sami Amunga, who has been her trainer ever since.
Wakati nilipata mwalimu Sami, ndio nilianza kuona mabadiliko nikifuata maagizo ile yenye niliambiwa Kijabe. Sasa hivi ile tunaongea hivi niko na 80. Nilikuwa na shida wakati nilikuwa na kilo 106. Kulala, nilikuwa nalala hivi, nikae ndio nigeuka upande huu. Na hivi nilikuwa siwezi lala. Maana ile kuema inakuwa ni shida. Lakini tangu nitoke kwa 100 na nikuje kwa 80, niko sawa, nageuka kwa kitanda vile nataka. Imenibadilisha maisha.
Mokaya's experience resonates with many here in Mombasa, particularly those who have been struggling to lose weight. One such person is Sonali Shah. I meet her at Gymkhana, a popular training facility in Mombasa. She and her colleagues are preparing for a Zumba dance class under the guidance of Olivia Maru.
Zumba is my favorite because it's all about fun and dancing. It's a combination of aerobics and dancing. So dancing you enjoy. Even if you are big, you can enjoy. It's not like you have to be thin for Zumba. You can do as long as you know you're capable of at least moving around.
Hit it, go! Again.
Sonali's struggle is still on. A few months before we met, Sonali was 32 kilograms lighter, but then her weight crept back. Little exercise and unhealthy eating drove this weight gain.
Like right now, I'm 145. I was 150. I've tried and I've gone to 145. When I lost 32, I knew I was like 115. I reached there. I started eating whatever I wanted, all the junks which you like, all the sodas and the junks which you get even on the road. You know, at that time you're like carefree because you've already lost that motivation. Junk food is addictive. It's very addictive. Once you feel like you're just getting comfortable in that junk food, you will not stop eating till you feel like you can't even walk.
Olivia, Sonali's instructor, has been teaching and encouraging her to make healthy dietary choices.
So we are trying to make sure like we have to cut down bahazi, you know, like as we call them chopo-chopos. The chopo-chopos are kind of food like the fried chips, mandazi, mahamri, pilau, you know. We put a lot of oil in it, a lot of sugar, alua. I came here and I was like, what is this, what is this? And everything is sugar.
In Mombasa and a lot of Kenya's coast, eating healthy isn't just personal choice. It is a search for healthy options as well.
He like whips them up with
Popular dishes here are high in calories and fat, but low in nutrients.
Mombasa is full of junk food only. Honestly, we don't have like that healthy food. Even if it's healthy, some places it's so expensive.
Sonali believes she's a victim of her food environment, which she blames for her extra pounds. According to Mary Mokaya, the allure of one's food environment isn't as tempting if one has control over what they eat. Before she fell ill, Mokaya wasn't keen on what made her diet.
Wakati huo nilikuwa nakula hizo kuku za kuzunguka, nakula chips natengeneza kwangu nakula. Kama ni nyama naweka sahani sawa sawa. Soda nilikuwa nakunywa ile inaitwa Kresi. Lakini tangu wakati ule soda niliachana na mambo ya soda, mambo ya juice sikunywi. Unajua kama hujajijua unawekelea tu kila kitu. Hakuna kitu yenye unachagua. Na pia maybe hujui ubaya wa mwili mkubwa. Sasa unaongezea tu, unaongezea hakuna exercise unafanya. Sikuwa nafanya exercise hata siku moja. Sasa unajiongezea hivyo hata wewe mwenyewe hujui, unakuja kustukia umekuwa mkubwa. Na kurudisha pale chini nyuma huwa ni kazi mpaka uwe na moyo. Nyumbani ni hapa. Karibuni. Hapa ndio nyumbani. Nichukue sufuria ya sima.
Today, Mokaya hardly eats out and personally cooks her meals. She starts preparing meals once she gets home from working out.
Huwa nakula sima kwa sababu ya shughuli zangu.
After about 7 minutes, the ugali is ready. Mary replaces it with traditional vegetables from the previous night. A favorite dish made from Kenya's staple food, maize, ugali isn't the most nutrient-rich option, but it is better than what she used to eat. As soon as she has eaten, Mary leaves for work, about half a kilometer away. Previously, Mary couldn't walk to her workplace and relied on motorcycle taxis or bodabodas to get there. As Mary goes about her business in Changamwe, Mombasa town bustles with activity. Outside Kongowea Market, traders haggle over prices with customers. Mariam Abbas and her sister Naima are here to shop for ingredients. Tomorrow they'll be cooking biryani, one of the most popular rice dishes at the Kenyan coast.
Haya, viazi, niweke kilo. Niweke kubwa za kuiva. Asalamu alaykum. Ngadengu moja rangi ya biryani na pilipili mbichi za shilingi 10. Nimetoka sokoni. Nimenunua vitu za biryani, za kupika biryani na viazi karai, tomato, viazi, vitunguu, pilipili. Hizi zatosha kwa biryani sasa.
Mariam is now set to cook her biryani. Like Mokaya, society's cooking culture often dictates what Mariam and her family will eat, whether it is healthy or not. We return the following day. Mariam has already prepared the ingredients she bought.
Tuko tayari kama mnavyoona. Ndio nataka kuanza kupika na mchele. Katika biryani, katika rojo, lazima uwe na vitunguu vya kutosha. Rojo ni vitunguu. Sasa kama hivi mnavyoona nimechukua vitunguu vyangu vingapi? 8. Mimi napenda vitunguu kwenye biryani. Vitunguu maji, thomu, tangawizi, iliki, dawa ya pilau.
Mariam prefers to blend her tomatoes in order to get a smooth paste. She doesn't cook biryani often as it involves many ingredients and consumes time. But it's her favorite and that of many households in Mombasa.
Watu wanaipenda kwa sababu ni tamu. Ni tamu sana. Ladha yake haiko compared na chakula kingine. Ni tamu sana. Nikishapika mkionja mtajua vile ni tamu.
The tastiness of biryani partly comes from oil, a generous amount of oil, as Mariam will later demonstrate.
Rojo lile lazima liwe na mafuta ya kutosha ili liweze kukaa vizuri yani. Ukikaanga mpaka zikuwe golden brown inakutoka na sura nzuri.
While the potatoes are frying, Mariam puts the fried onions into the sufuria containing boiled meat.
Unachanganya kila kitu.
She then adds the blended tomatoes and sour milk. At this point, we start talking about how much oil Mariam uses in her cooking.
Yeah, ni kweli. Tunajua lakini mostly watu wana assume tu. Watu wana assume tu wenyewe lakini hutumika sana mafuta. Mtu anajua baada ya hapa nitaenda nitafanya mambo yangu, nitaji-starve, nitakaa bila kula siku 2-3 nitarudi in shape. Sasa hii tunatengeneza unga wetu. Natumia gram flour. Natia kiwango kidogo kulingana na viazi vyako na chumvi kidogo. Viazi vyetu vimeiva. Mafuta yanatumika sana katika kila kitu tunachopika, kila kitu. Yaani sisi kwenye nyumba tukikosa mafuta, sidhani kama tutaweza. Si kama compare tuna wabara. Bara iza chemsha tu kitu na akakula. Sisi hatuwezi. Sidhani kama watu wanaweza huku. Uswahilini huku. Kila kitu tunatumia mafuta. Haswa katika time zetu za Ramadhani mwanzo. Ramadhani ndio unapata watu wanakula sana. vitu vya mafuta na vitu vya sukari. Tunakula sana vitu vya sukari. Tunapenda.
Mariam does know that how she cooks and what she eats has its problems.
Lakini nishaikuwa na changamoto ya afya. Mwanzo kwenye kubreathe ni shida kwa sababu nimeongeza kilo. Hasa katika hichi kipindi cha corona watu wamekaa tu, kazi ni kula na kulala. Na unajua Uswahilini tena sisi, watu wapendi kufanya kazi sana. Hata mazoezi mtu hana time hiyo. Mtu yuko radhi akae nyumbani angalie movie, mambo yaishi.
Mariam says she tries to keep the weight off by staying active at home.
Kivyangu mimi napanda ngazi sana nikishuka. Sana kwa siku. Sasa I'm sure hiyo pia inanisaidia. Mambo ya health. Nashukuru sana.
But what does she use in storage buildings? Stairs or the lift?
Lift, siwezi kudanganya. Nimewekewa lift kwa nini nitumie stairs? Hapo lazima hapo nishatembea huko kote kwenda paka huko. Tatumia lift tu. Vitu vimeiva. Napenda hii crunchy. So vitu kile ni tamu sana.
While Mariam doesn't cook biryani often, biryani and pilau are a daily delicacy in many parts of Mombasa and in the coast. This is one of the popular local eateries in Mombasa, and lunch is cooking. In the next 1 hour or so, all these sufurias will be empty. Exactly 1 hour later, the eatery is packed to capacity, inside and outside. The meal that was cooking a while ago is now on the table. Soon, all the food is gone. The coastal region has the third highest rate of obesity in Kenya. Nairobi leads, followed by central Kenya.
Our main concentration is the coastal region.
Noreen Kigochi is the founder of Ella Nutrition and Wellness, a nutrition organization based in Mombasa County. Many of the cases she receives are weight-related.
Most common problem is weight. Weight is an issue, a huge issue. And also lifestyle diseases, especially for people above 45, 50 there. They have a lot of lifestyle diseases. So they have either diabetes, they have hypertension, they have high cholesterol, they've been diagnosed with kidney diseases, liver failure, but mostly weight. Weight is an issue.
Kigochi attributes this to the dietary and lifestyle changes she has observed for more than a decade.
When I moved here in 2007, we didn't used to have as many fast food joints. In fact, the only ones that were there were basically selling fries and sausage and chicken. That was as much options as you could get. The burger places were very few, and they were also not as busy. So, but you could find a lot of places that serve biryani and pilau and this kind of, and mahamri in the morning. But right now, if you walk into town, there's a place for pizza, there's a place for chicken that's not the actual stewed chicken, there's a place for other different cuisines.
The demand for fast food in Mombasa has been growing over the years, and so has the number of fast food outlets. In March 2021, global fast food chain Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, opened their first outlet in Mombasa's Central Business District. This was KFC's 24th outlet in Kenya, having opened the first one in Nairobi and in East Africa in August 2011 at the Junction Mall. KFC's arrival in Kenya paved the way for numerous other international fast food brands, mainly from the United States. In 2013, the sandwich chain Subway opened its first outlet at the Junction Mall, where KFC had opened 2 years earlier. The following year, Cold Stone Creamery and Domino's Pizza set up shop. Then came Pizza Hut and Burger King in 2015 and 2016 respectively. The global food chains were said to be targeting Africa's growing middle class and its disposable income.
Economically, the market in the United States has gotten saturated full. It takes a lot of marketing money from the companies in order to just, to sell $1's worth of their product. It costs a lot of money for advertising, etc., because there are lots of other companies competing, and we can only eat so much fast food. So they realize that their advertising and their marketing dollars are better spent in a new place, in a new world. And in a way, the African continent is like the new world for this cartel of ultra-processed food companies.
The opening of the KFC restaurant in Mombasa caused a lot of excitement. On social media, residents urged KFC to open more outlets. KFC attracted such attention that a new public service vehicle even treated its first passengers with KFC food packages while launching on the roads. Mariam was among the first customers to visit the new KFC restaurant.
Nishaenda. Hey, siwezi nikachelewa. Nishaenda, and they have the best food. Nilienjoy. Nilikula chips na kuku kama kawaida. Soda baridi. Lazima soda, Fanta baridi. Mimi ni mtu wa Fanta. Chakula chao kina taste nyingine ajabu sana compared to hizi zingine. I don't know what they put hapo ndani, lakini what taste yao ni tamu sana. Sijui hata wanatumia nini. Alafu wako ugali, wako affordable. Yeah.
Unlike Mariam, Sonali says she can't go to the new KFC restaurant, even though she desires to.
Well, when KFC started, everyone started sending me pictures because they knew I would like this. Because they knew those kind of, I love all this kind of food. But I have so many people to go with. They're all ready to go, but I'm the one stopping myself as well to go. I will think about it twice before going. I might go once and then it might not stop me from going. So that's why I'm really stopping myself, controlling myself.
Sonali's fear of addiction is real. But what exactly makes people want to eat fast food again and again?
The taste and how it affects your hormones. There's a way it gives you a high. Again, things like sugars, things like fats, there's a way they just affect your brain, and you remember that. Your brain has a way of recording that memory. So it's easier to go back and buy again because you remember that taste. I can remember how chicken tasted when I ate it, say, in Nairobi 3 weeks ago. I'll remember how a pizza tasted 2 weeks ago if I ate pizza. So if I want pizza, then I'll know what pizza I want to go and get. It's addictive, but it also creates a memory in your brain.
American journalist and author Michael Moss, who has researched extensively on the fast food industry in the United States, says that we remember what we eat and eat what we remember. Moss argues that the addictiveness of fast food has to do with the speed at which it excites the brain.
Cigarette smoke takes something like 10 seconds, from smoking a cigarette to fully activating the brain. Alcohol is like a little bit less. Narcotics are maybe a little bit less. But there's nothing faster than food, and especially junk food, and its ability to get the brain excited. Kind of because a little trick that food uses to get us to eat, right? So when you eat something sugary, the sugar, even before the sugar gets into your bloodstream and might sort of reach the brain or your stomach, it sends a signal to the brain by triggering the taste buds on your tongue.
In the United States, 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. The World Health Organization says that for one to avoid unhealthy weight gain, total fat should not exceed 30% of total energy intake. In its healthy diet guidelines, the WHO says that part of a healthy diet consists of limiting intake of free sugars to less than 10% of total energy. While here in Mombasa, I decided to go check out what the new KFC restaurant is offering. Today is Friday, one of the busiest days at the fast food outlet.
Natoka KFC, kununua lunch. It took about 3 minutes getting in, being freezed at the door. And then there's someone who gave me a pamphlet. I've bought 2 pieces of chicken and regular chips. And this is what one of the waitresses has recommended as the best chicken that they have. And one of the billboards says that it is hotter than the weather. It has cost me around 600 Kenya shillings, including the sodas and some water. And this is a meal that majority of residents here in Mombasa who love KFC are eating. It's very delicious. As the packet says, it's finger-licking good.
With the growing prevalence of fast food in the Kenyan coast, those offering healthy options have to work even harder to get audience. One such person is Martin Kariuki, who runs a healthy juice parlor in Mombasa.
Sisi we target watu ambao they are health conscious. Watu ambao wanaelewa ni kitu gani ambao wanakunywa. Glass kama hii ukikunywa hata wewe kesho lazima utataka kukunywa hiyo juice. Iko na vitu nyingi ndani yake. Kuna njugu, kuna korosho, kuna mbegu za malenge, kuna mbegu za watermelon, kuna mbegu za passion, kuna flax seeds ndani, kuna asali, kuna avocado, pineapple, beetroot. Na hakuna sukari, na hakuna maji. So, it's so filling. Ni kama nimekula.
But unlike many of the fast food joints here, Kariuki's outlet is not easily visible, and one has to go through this narrow corridor to get there.
Hii inaitwa alkalizing juice. Hii ni ya lower acidity na increase alkalinity. Imetengenezwa na cabbage, white cabbage and the red cabbage. Imetengenezwa na viazi, that is Irish potato, celery, cucumber. Ukikunywa hii, acidity inaenda chini, alkalinity inakuja juu. On an empty stomach. Very nice. Kando na juices, tuko na very selected meals like brown ugali, yellow ugali, boiled chicken ambayo ni kienyeji chicken. Tuka-introduce uji ya nguvu. We have herbal teas and African tea ambayo ni ya maziwa na inaongezwa some natural herbs.
But Kariuki can't afford to put his store in a more strategic part of town. He has other challenges.
The cost of operations ziko very high. For instance, ukiangalia vitu kama rent, hapa town rent it's very expensive, it's very high. Ukiangalia licenses ziko very high, na ni license nyingi. Kuna yearly license, kuna form B, kuna sijui fire. Zote hizo ni pesa unatakana ulipe. Kuna medical certificates za wafanyikazi. Profit margins are very small. But tuna hope na tuna imani ya kwamba kadri muda unavyozidi, our clients watazidi kuongezeka na hiyo profit margin kwa muda itakuwa na kipato kizuri.
Kigochi says her biggest challenge is that most people seeking to lose weight prefer quick fixes, yet it took them longer to gain weight.
We are not as popular in terms of we offer more consultation than actual thing. For example, if I come and tell you how your diet should be and eat, I have given you equipment, I've equipped you for a long period of time, probably for life. But you would prefer to use your 3,000, 5,000 to buy food or to buy a weight loss program, a weight loss pills and things.
Kigochi works closely with local gyms, but gets concerned about the eating of junk food with the hope of burning it out at the gym.
You can go for your cravings. It's not like you should not. You should go. But when you go, you make sure you have burnt it out. That is always, that's what I always do. Whenever I've eaten wrong, I make sure I do double workout that day, just to compensate.
If your only aim is weight, then you will be able to control your weight. But if your aim is to control your health, then you would be able to know that if I continuously eat the way I'm eating, by the time I'm 40, by the time I'm 50, by the time you're 60, you'll have issues that you could have easily avoided if you ate healthier when you were younger. For example, being prone to lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, some types of cancer, a lot of cholesterol. And that happens, we are able to measure that if we check your, say, metabolic age. So yes, you could be lean, a very lean person, but your metabolic age is probably 15 years more than your actual age. So what does that tell you? It tells you that your organs have aged by 15 years than they're supposed to. So that means if your family is at risk of getting lifestyle disease, then yours will come earlier or might come earlier. For example, if your mom had diabetes or your dad had diabetes, they probably got it in their 50s. When you're 35, if your body is behaving like that of a 50-year-old, then your diabetes has a very high likelihood of coming when you're much younger.
Many gym goers would want to stay away from junk food, but sometimes it's not possible. Some fast food outlets occupy the same buildings with gyms, like in this business complex located in Membetayari in Mombasa. Mary Mokaya comes here to work out once a week. She and her instructor, Samia Munga, always have to pass by this fast food joint on ground floor before stepping onto the escalator. The gym is located on the 3rd floor.
Naona ya mambo ya mazoezi inasaidia mtu tena sana. Nilikwambia nilikuwa siwezi lala hivi, na nilikuwa siwezi geuka hivi kwa kitanda. Sasa nilikuwa nafikiria sijui ni ugonjwa gani imenishika. Lakini tangu mazoezi, nalala vyovyote, hata hivi nalala. Hakuna style silali. Sasa ni wewe mwenyewe ukuwe serious na mwili wako, kwa sababu unajisaidia wewe. Lakini ukiwa hauko serious, magonjwa itakushindia kila siku. Utasema umerogwa ama utasema pengine Mungu hakuoni, anakuona na wewe ujisaidie.
Mokaya has overcome a challenge that many struggling with weight loss haven't been able to. For some, a final option for losing excess weight is surgery. And that's where surgeons like Dr. Kennedy Ondende come in. He is the head of surgery at Kenyatta National Hospital. In 2019, he performed the first bariatric surgery at a public hospital in Kenya.
There are only two ways of losing weight when it comes to us as doctors who practice bariatric surgery. We either decrease the size of the stomach or we reduce the length of the small intestine responsible for digesting and absorbing the food, okay? Or a combination of both and others.
At a public hospital, bariatric surgery costs around 500,000 Kenya shillings and nearly 1 million Kenya shillings in a private hospital.
NHIF has not been covering this sort of thing. Many insurances don't cover this surgery, not unless we have particular indications, not just weight loss for the sake of it, but where patients have complications like diabetes, insulin-dependent diabetes, heart problems because of being overweight.
But high cost isn't the only thing patients have to contend with. Bariatric surgery or gastric bypass has its own risks and possible complications.
The biggest problem with bypasses is nutritional, because patients tend to go into nutritional deficiencies, especially fat-soluble vitamins, that is A, D, E, and K. They are likely to have that because of the diarrhea that comes as a complication of the short intestine we have given the patient. So the absorptive ability of the intestine is lost and most of the food comes out undigested. And that means that the patient has to be on lifetime supplementation of these vitamins.
Again, the patient may not get to lose as much weight as they desire.
You don't lose a lot of weight. You lose maybe up to around 30% of your weight. At 6 weeks, you may lose up to 10 kilos, even some 15 kilos. But if not managed well, the chances of recurring weight gain coming back at 2 years is very high. So patients really have to try to maintain the regime they're given in controlling their diet. If you don't, then you gain your weight back. I want to reiterate that chosen well and done by somebody with expertise, the surgery is relatively safe. And we have many patients outside here who can attest to what you have done.
Kenya may have made progress on many fronts, including bringing down levels of stunting and improving maternal health. But when it comes to tackling non-communicable diseases which are linked to unhealthy lifestyles, the signs are worrying. The prevalence of fast food and sedentary lifestyles will likely make things worse. At the same time, 1 in 3 Kenyans experience chronic food insecurity every year. The prevalence of hunger means many Kenyans do not see the looming obesity crisis that will blindside them in the near future.
I think as this sort of awareness goes up, people will quickly start also adapting slowly and get to know that not all that glitters is gold. We need also to look at our traditional ways and see which sort of foods we had traditionally. Why did our people live so long? Why were they not obese?
Mtu kama kweli anajipenda afya yake, apunguze tu kidogo. Si sana kwa sababu mtu ushazoea, huwezi kumwambia tu mtu apunguze hapo tu kila kitu, no. Aanze tu kupunguza in small portions, kidogo kidogo tu. Kama ulikuwa weka vijiko viwili vya sukari, weka kimoja. Kidogo kidogo tu polepole. Mimi na hakika I'm sure tutaweza kuliangamiza ili janga la mafuta na sukari jamani.
Hii mili haina spares. We have no spare parts kwa hizi mili. Wewe huo mwili ambao umepewa ni jukumu lako utunze. Na jinsi ya kutunza mwili ni kuupatia zile vitu ambazo zinahitajika. Zile vyakula ambazo ziko na virutubisho na tufanye exercise.
For countries in Africa, to governments to be able to stand up to the food companies and resist changes that they're bringing to the continent. I think people have to do it themselves. Educators and people and food activists have to fight this battle themselves.
Things may seem dire, but there are options.
So I've been selling it at...
Meet Nick Othiambo, a renowned Kenyan chef, author and farmer. Being vegan himself, Nick only cooks plant-based meals and can walk us through healthy options. We spend a little time with him preparing a meal. Like Mariam, Nick is cooking rice. He loves brown rice, but it ran out and he hasn't ordered yet. He usually buys in bulk.
The best way to cook rice, or at least that works for me, is rather to let the pan heat up. So I've just put a bit of oil in here, a bit of oil, nothing much, yeah? Because again, you're trying to be health conscious, right? Yeah, so we want to let this go on for at least until it starts to smoke a bit, yeah? Once it starts smoking a bit, we'll put in the rice and put the water. So this is, the dish we're making is stir fry. It's a stir fry, sweet and sour, tofu and mushroom. And as this is going on, I think it's now, yeah, I think now it's all right.
Nick's method of cooking rice may seem unconventional to some. He explains what happens to the rice when you put it first before adding water.
It becomes a bit more flaky, like instead of being more ugali, like it's more like one. Yeah, the particles are separated. Or, yeah. That one now will go on for some time. And then when it's almost done again, we shall cover it.
As Nick's rice continues to simmer, he begins to roast some cashew nuts.
They'll add a bit to the flavor of the dish. Have them roast a bit. So now we shall just leave this to air dry a bit. So what's in here is basil, soy sauce, a bit of sesame oil. I'm just going to now start on the tofu. As the nuts are drying. So what we'll do with these as well, we shall kind of fry them a bit before we incorporate into the main dish. Yeah.
Nick thoroughly plans all his meals. Most times, he gets his ingredients at least a week earlier. He likes to spend the shortest time possible in the kitchen.
The tofu is prepared, is ready. So what I'm gonna do now is just slightly chop the mushrooms. It continues on low for the rest of its cooking. There are quite a number of people who have a hunger for knowledge of good food. Meeting different flavor points. So just one last thing to prep is the basil. I'll start with the tofu and then the mushroom. I will kind of just not blanch. I will kind of just fry them a bit, yeah, with shallow oil. Once this one starts to smoke, it will help it to have a crunch, yeah? Instead of just being like, it will be crunchy on the outside, but soft on the inside. Still hot, just a bit of oil, and the mushroom goes in. That is the sound of the water leaving the mushroom. That yeah. So this is done as well. I'm gonna give them 1 second, maybe a minute. And then I put in the rest of the putting the rest of the vegetables, the onions and the colorful bell peppers.
Nick's cooking skills have earned him recognition in Kenya and beyond. Just recently, he was featured in the East African Chef magazine. In less than 25 minutes, Nick is done cooking. He adds a little sesame oil to the vegetables and then serves the meal.
So this is just some basil for garnishing, and it also adds a bit of flavor to the experience. Some nuts and seeds. To me, really, when speaking about food, it is not just something we do to get full. Food is a powerful aspect that we use, that we come across in our lives 3 times a day, all of us, at least the majority of us, because also there are those who can't afford food. But for say the average Kenyan or the average human, you come across food 3 times a day. Yeah, those are 3. It's like going to the ballot, but now every 3 times in a day. So you're either voting for health or you're voting for disease.
But not everyone can afford to eat like Nick. So what can you do to eat healthy on a budget? Always ensure that your meal has these kinds of foods: fruits, vegetables, legumes such as lentils and beans, nuts and whole grains such as unprocessed maize, millet, oats and brown rice, among others. All of these can be found in your local market. Last but not least, aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical exercise every day.